Beautiful. All right, we're back. Dr. Jeff, again, I'm picking on you because you're right here on the top of our screen. All right, we got screen share. I'm going to advance slide, just one, just to check. You got the advanced slide. We advancing, moving. Beautiful. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. I'm Seth Mulder. We're going to reintroduce ourselves now that we're recording. I'm Seth Mulder.
I'm Stephanie Mulder.
And we are coming to you live from our home about an hour south of Salt Lake City, Utah. And we are super honored and stoked to be with you tonight, talking about an absolutely life-changing story and a mind-body activation challenge that we're introducing to the world this month. In fact, I think in our household, the person who was most excited about this challenge was this lady right here. She's saying we need to do things like this, and here it is. So we're excited to share with you what we call Activate and Thrive in 2025. All about activation, how you can activate the human body to do things that maybe you never thought it could do, or maybe you knew it could do, but you just haven't been there for a couple of decades. We're going to be talking about GLP-1, probably the hottest topic, certainly the hottest topic in weight management, weight loss, but maybe one of the single hottest topics in the entire health industry. And I'm going to be kind of leading out on the presentation and then giving it up for an amazing story by Steph here in a few minutes, as we have been on GLP-1. What are we going on, 14 weeks or something like that? I don't know, since October, 1st of October last year. So a little background about me and Steph. We are the parents of 10 kids. We have a blended family of 10, which keeps us on our toes. We have 6 grandkids, and we've been married for 10 years now. We have a blended family, and that entire 10 years, we have been business partners, being advocates for natural health approaches, and literally traveled the world. Individually, also as a couple, and also with our kids and as a family, teaching exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight, which we really feel is it's not just an interest of ours, it is a passion, and it really is a mission. So I heard it put this way, Steph. The healthy person has 1,000 dreams, and the unhealthy person has just one dream, and that is to get healthy again. And I think Steph might talk a little about that because she's been down that road maybe a couple of times in her life. And so I'm excited to share her story. But let's get rock and roll and talk about Activate and Thrive in 2025. A couple of disclosures. Number one, we're going to be talking about products tonight. We're going to be talking about activation, a new approach to living your healthiest, best life. And whenever we talk about products, we also are going to talk about protocols. We're going to talk about results, right? And so, of course, everybody's results might vary. What we are not is this is not a pharmaceutical presentation. We are not regulated by the FDA. We're not talking about drugs. We're not seeking to replace, an MD, nor are we here to cure, treat, heal, or mitigate disease. That's the role and the regulations in the pharmaceutical world. We're talking about turning on God's pharmacy. We're talking about a natural approach to activating your own genes. That's disclosure number one. Disclosure number two, we're going to be talking about a challenge. We're going to be talking about $30,000 in cash prize money that we have set, we put to invest in this challenge. And so realize that results may vary, and it really comes down to what you do, right? So anyway, you can read that if you want, but let's jump in to who we are. LifeVantage. We've been involved in LifeVantage. In fact, I saw LifeVantage 15 years ago and became an investor in the company because they were bringing what I thought was going to be a literally life-changing, my own life, a life-changing and world-changing approach to health. And if we were to kind of create, if somebody's to say, well, who are you? Who are you guys? We are the activation company. If you remember one word from the science of tonight, it's activation. This is not medication. This is not simply supplementation, but we're going to go into a completely different direction when it comes to our health. What if we could activate the human body to do what it did 20, well, for me, 30 years ago, for Stephanie, a shorter period of time. But what if our bodies could actually do what they genetically were programmed to do literally decades ago? That is activation. We have some incredible protocols and products, all the way from hair care to nootropics for the brain to immune support, skin care, etc. Tonight, we're going to get really tight and focused on a specific part of that conversation. First, our history. We're the company that created or discovered, I should say, the anti-aging product. There are a lot of anti-aging products out there, multi-billion-dollar industry. We discovered after decades of research by a research team and our leading scientist, what may be, in my estimation, is the single most important pill on the face of planet Earth. It's called Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer. Sometimes we've affectionately called it the little yellow pill. What does it do? It does a whole bunch of things, but it activates a gene or a sequence of genes in the human body to help you protect yourself, to help protect the cells, anti-inflammation, anti-fibrosis, detoxification. And the result, if we were to say, just put it into one sentence, there's a term called oxidative stress. That's cell damage or cell aging, if we're speaking chemically. Protandim is the only protocol in the world proven to reduce oxidative stress in the human body on average by 40% in 30 days. To put it another way, what if you could cut down the damage happening inside of 37 trillion cells in the human body by nearly half in 30 days? And by the way, up to 70% in 90 days. So that is our number one selling product. We've been marketing that for over 15 years, and it really put us on the map about 15 years ago. A few years ago, in fact, 2.5 actually, to be precise, we're coming up on 3. We launched the world's first clinically proven collagen activator. Again, not something you're injecting in your skin for beauty, a pharmaceutical or a medication, not simply a supplementation approach with, collagen from cows or fish or pork or whatever, but an actual protocol that was completely natural and could flip a switch in the human body to activate your body to make its own collagen. In fact, the results were, I remember when we took our first collagen, almost 2.5 years ago, when we were taking our before pictures and our 15-day pictures and whatnot, and just having people remark about our skin change. The results, clinically speaking, are you can double the skin collagen density double it. In other words, increase it by 100% in 8 weeks. You can't do that supplementing. It only comes when the body starts making its own stuff. And so we introduced collagen. Tonight, we are here specifically to talk about, and I love the way that we put this. I mean, whoever came up with this is ingenious. I love this. The weight loss system that broke the internet. What are we talking about? So we launched, I should say we pre-released. We first put this mind-body GLP-1 weight loss activation system on the market for testing, I should say for purchasing. We're going to test the purchasing power on October 11th of last year. So I don't know 90 days ago or so. And in that one day, we had 200 times the traffic on our corporate website than we have ever had in the history of our company. Do you remember how many thousands of people were waiting? Do you remember any of those numbers? It was crazy. You would have to get in a queue, and you were put into a holding queue because we broke the internet. We sold 50,000 units, 50,000 1-month supplies of the MindBody system in 13 days. And we actually sold out of that initial 50,000 units. We're going to talk about that more today, but the good news is it's back in stock. We are no longer in back order. In fact, we were talking to our friend who just purchased recently. We were visiting them in Wyoming, and They said, how long is this going to take? We said, oh, just a couple of days. They literally placed the order on Friday. And I don't know how. He was remarking to me about it today as I was talking to him. They had it like on Monday. He's like, I don't know how it's humanly possible to place it on Friday night, and they had the product on Monday, and they started their GLP-1 system. But the system that broke the internet is back in stock, folks, and is shipping crazily fast. So, like we said, 200 times the web traffic. We sold out in 13 days, and the second batch sold out in a few weeks as well. We love this hashtag take it to make it. This is the premise of activation, not medication, not supplementation. Our bodies were designed to make hormones, to make their own protective antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that protect the body, to make its own collagen. And we look at a world here where we're full of pharmaceutical answers, right? Prescription answers, synthetic answers, injectable answers. We're full of a world with lots of supplements, right, Steph? But this is a new concept. You take LifeVantage products so that your body will make those antioxidant enzymes, those proteins, those collagens, those hormones, specifically GLP-1, what we're talking about, on its own. It is a fundamentally new and completely different approach than anything we've ever seen. And that's why we are showing people, real results. So excited to talk a little more about this tonight. What is GLP-1? Well, number one, GLP-1 is probably the hottest thing on the market right now. When we started talking about this sometime last year, when we understood that we were working on this product, we started seeing, it was like one of those things, like as soon as you hear it once, then you start hearing it 100 times. And I've talked to friends about this. We were visiting friends in Arizona a few months ago, and I said, what do you know about GLP-1? And our friend said, well, half my friends are on it and the other half want to be on it. Let's talk a little about what is GLP-1. You probably are familiar with some of this, but some of this is probably going to be new. So GLP-1 is actually a natural hormone that your body makes. It's made primarily in the gut, the lower gut, but also there are receptors and it's made in the brain as well. And so this hormone is responsible for a whole bunch of things that we're going to talk about, but it's critical. It plays a crucial role in regulating blood sugar, in regulating your appetite, and in regulating your digestion, along with other things like metabolism in cells throughout the body, including the brain and other organs, including heart health, including pancreatic health, etc. But mainly we're going to talk about tonight blood sugar, appetite, digestion, and of course, how does that relate to weight loss? So what is GLP-1? GLP-1 is a hormone that your body produces to help the ebb and flow of blood sugar and blood sugar regulation and metabolism. So insulin secretion, right? Slowing your digestion down. So GLP-1 actually tells your stomach to, hey, slow down. You don't need to discharge that food so fast. And consequently, we're going to digest it better, right? Well, if you don't digest your food as fast, what also happens? You feel fuller longer, so you don't feel like you need to eat as much. When your insulin and that kind of the ebb and flow with insulin and response and glucose in your blood from eating, when that's all over the place, it causes your body to get really hungry. Well, if we can control that, if we can influence that and kind of move those markers in the body and in the gut more effectively, that's the role of GLP-1, then we're going to be more appropriately, instead of always having these urges and these cravings to be snacking all the time, okay? GLP-1 also works in concert with other hormones to help tell us that, listen, you aren't hungry. In fact, GLP-1 is going to go attach to some of those receptors in our brain that might have been screaming, I'm hungry, I need a Dorito hit, right? I need some sugary, salty, crunchy, savory carbs, right? Or I need the chocolate. It's going to block those receptors in the brain naturally. This is what your body was designed to do. It's also going to support cardiovascular health and help protect the brain. GLP-1, I believe, at least for me, is going to be one of the most revelatory discoveries in human health in the next decade. And that's primarily because of the synthetic GLP-1 drugs, the GLP-1 agonists that are on the market. But we're introducing something completely revolutionary. We're not talking about anything that is synthetic. We're not talking about injectable. We're not talking about a pharmaceutical or a medication. We've been working for nearly 2 years, well over a year and a half, on a completely natural approach to GLP-1 health. What if your body could make its own GLP-1 hormone to do all of those things naturally again? Okay. So let's talk about the human clinical. And I want to compare this to what's happening with the drugs. Okay. So the diabetic drugs, the Ozempics, the semaglutide, tirzepatides, the synthetic drugs on the marketplace, by the way, they're referred to as GLP-1s, right? Often, hey, I need to go get my GLP-1. What we need to understand is they're not GLP-1. They are not the actual hormone. They are synthetic peptide designed, built to be injected to take over the job of the hormone, to what do I want to say, Steph? To interact, to interface with those receptors in the brain and in the gut that the GLP hormone would be going to, right? It's kind of like a doppelganger. It's a look-alike, right? That basically takes over GLP-1's job. And consequently, and this is what people in the medical field are finding, that when you synthetically inject this, again, synthetic peptide that mimics GLP-1, what do you think happens to your body's desire to make its own GLP-1? It goes down, right? So your body, you take the injection and consequently your body, which was probably already not making enough GLP-1, it's going to make even less of that. It's basically going to turn off your natural make it signaling. Okay. So very big difference between what you're injecting and these injectables to what we're talking about. We're talking about here's what happens when you take the mind body dual activation, dual amplification system. In a 12-week human clinical study, we saw significant results. Number one, and I'm going to give you about, I think there's 5 or 6 things here, bullet points. Like, what do you need to know about this mind body system? It's going to help your body to make its own GLP-1 by 140% on average. Participants lost 9 pounds in 8 weeks on average, and up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks. So we're talking about, a 1.2, maybe 2 pounds a week, which is a super healthy rate at which you want to be looking or approaching weight loss. Big reveal here, and I'm going to turn it over to Steph. It's this is the big reveal, and when Steph found this, she about did 3 backflips. But
so 100% of those who lost weight did not lose muscle.
It's absolutely critical that your muscles are your biggest endocrine organ in the body. It's not just flexing, right? It literally is health. More muscle means more health and more long-term health. We're finding that the more and more research is showing that one of the greatest predictors of senior aging and debilitating disease and decline is lack of muscle. So when people are losing lots of weight, they often are losing significant amounts of muscle. And so when we can show in a human clinical study that there was 100% no muscle loss. Wow. And Steph's going to talk a little about that in her story. Up to 27% loss in visceral fat. That's the fat on your organs. That's that center fat. That's the silent death fat, right? That we don't necessarily see, but is clogging up the insides of our bodies. That's huge. And up to 5% of total body fat. 82% of people took back control of their relationship with food. I've experienced that myself. 95% had decrease in sugar cravings. So how do you take MB? It is a two-product system. You're going to take two capsules of MB Core first thing in the morning. And Steph, oh, we're getting some feedback. First thing in the morning, and Steph, and then you're going to eat 30 minutes later, or you can eat 30 minutes later. So what do you do every single morning when you do this with your timer?
I don't know. What do I do?
Oh, you use, well, it's just that you set a time, like you take your MB first thing in the morning and you say, Alexa, set a timer. Mom can eat food.
Mom, eat breakfast.
Mom eat breakfast in 30 minutes, right? So what we want to do is we want to take this MB Core formula on an empty stomach with no caloric interference so that it can go in and target, and so we can start to activate the the GLP-1 production in the human body immediately. 30 minutes later, you're free to eat. Now, you don't have to eat 30 minutes later. We've had people say, well, I've been having a hard time timing my breakfast 30 minutes. Okay, you don't have to do Stephanie's thing where it's mom eat in 30 minutes, right? It doesn't matter. Like you can intermittent fast if you want today. Today, I didn't eat for like 6 hours after my MB, and that's fine too. But you want at least that 30-minute break. Now, after that 30-minute break, anytime during the rest of the day, you're going to take 4 scoops of the NB Enhance. It's the powder. It is not protein, by the way. It's primarily fiber. You're going to take 4 scoops, and they're, by the way, small scoops throughout the day. It's a mix-in. Tastes like vanilla cake batter.
Yes.
It's delicious. You can shake it up in a shaker cup. You can take your little bzzz, and blend it up. You can mix it into a smoothie. You can mix it into a protein shake. You can mix we mix a nootropic into it and make like an orange creamsicle icy out of it. It's amazing. But really, MB is so easy. It's not a drug, not a medication. You don't need any needles. There's no harmful side effects, no doctors, no super expensive protocols. It really is that easy. So we're going to look at some real people, real results, men and women. I want you to really look at those midsections, okay? And in this picture in the middle, notice that he's got a tape measure around his midsection. And that's one of the things we're going to guide you through as you start this system. Is it about weight loss? Absolutely. It's also so much about healthy weight loss. It's about appropriate body composition. So are we seeing weight loss, like just dropping on the scale? Yes, we are. But as important, or I'm going to say even more important, we are seeing body shaping. We are seeing the reduction of inches. And Steph's going to talk about that in just a minute with her story. Some more pictures. We've got literally tens, I don't know, hundreds of pictures. Keep in mind, we sold 50,000 units in 13 days, about 90 days ago. We've got so many stories of people literally screaming for joy, crying for joy because of how it's changing their life. Take it, mind, body, GLP-1, make it your own GLP-1. 8 weeks, waist down 3 inches, stomach down 4 inches with 5 pounds of weight loss, right? So we're seeing that change in the way the body looks and feels. Even when you might not think that, oh, hey, I lost 5 pounds. No, I lost 5 pounds and I lost 5.5 inches or whatever that might be. So just story after story after story. And many of them have to do with weight loss. Of course, this is an approach for weight loss, but we're talking about A1C. My A1C was down. I'm already in the healthy range. I'm not pre-diabetic, but my before and after blood work that I just happened to be doing every 6 months coincided with my pre and post MB starting. And to see, our naturopathic doctor up in Canada say, wow, you're doing this GLP-1 thing. And that's why you're seeing lower A1C, Seth. That's why you're seeing your fasting blood sugar go down. And I anticipate, Seth, that you're going to see it continue to go even into that more green area. So lots of great stuff. Let me turn the mic fully over to Steph to talk about her MB experience so far.
All right. So, little history on me. When I was in 8th grade, I was actually diagnosed with an autoimmune disease and struggled with a lot, actually. I did a lot of sleeping, hours upon hours, to the point where I almost flunked 8th grade. I had pain down to my bones. My nerves were always in pain. And fast forward to these activation products. Uh, I got pregnant, and it's a very stressful time on a woman's body. And so the autoimmune disease ended up coming back. And honestly, at first, I couldn't even put my finger on it exactly what was going on because my symptoms were so small that I was like, Seth, something is off. I know I had my first two babies in my 20s, and now I'm having my second two babies in my 30s, but something is just off. And I couldn't put my finger on it for a little while until I realized that these activation products were really, really helping to support um, a healthy immune system. Um, and now I'm able to travel the world. Last year, I went to Thailand and Japan and did a humanitarian trip in Africa, went to Mexico, and that's just outside the country, many states inside the US. Um, so fast forward to the beginning of October of this last year, Seth and I, as you mentioned, we started the MB product. And day one, Seth had this brilliant idea to go get our body fat composition done. Honestly, I wouldn't have done it anyways because, that's not always a pleasant experience. But Seth had the great idea of, just having a baseline for what we were doing. And so I agreed to doing it. And after doing that test, needless to say, I was not happy with where I was at. I even gave myself like a grace percentage as to where I thought I would be, and I was way above that. And let's just say that I was very emotional, and it probably was not a pleasant day for my husband or my family. Uh,
I headed to the bunker. I stepped it in the bunker.
okay, that's not true. But um, so I had already taken the pills, and I can't remember if I had taken the shake yet or not, but so being emotional, I was just, doing stuff around the house. And I remember going into our bedroom, and on the dresser was a bag of organic dehydrated pineapple. Not a bad thing, right? And immediately I thought, oh, I want some of that. I need some of that. And my mind said, no, we don't need that. And I was like, what? Oh, what just happened? It was really crazy to experience the gut and mind connection and how my body was talking to me. It was telling me what it needed or what it didn't need. So that was the beginning of that journey. I will say that over the time, I've definitely had a lot less food noise. I did not realize how much food was consuming my mind and also my body, to be honest. I didn't realize how much of an issue I had with blood sugar. Uh, and it has helped with that also to the point where like a few of my kids have always known me to have snacks no matter where I go. Whether it's church or, to the movies or anywhere, I always have snacks so that I can keep my blood sugar regulated. And I think they now, a few months into this, the kids are realizing that I don't really carry snacks around anymore because I would say 99% of that is gone. I don't need to have the snacks to carry me from one meal to the other. I'm staying full longer. My body, like I said, is communicating with me what it needs. I still do enjoy desserts, just a lot less often and a lot less when I do eat it because I feel really satisfied with a small, healthy amount. Um, I will say that I have lost 5 pounds. And something that's even more exciting for me is I've lost over 5.5 inches the last time that I measured, which it has been a couple of weeks. Um, and because of this, a couple of different times along this journey, I have had the thought, oh, I should go try on, a pair of jeans, thinking, oh, they probably aren't going to fit, but what the heck, let's just try it. And partly because I hadn't really seen the scale move a whole lot. And I tried them on and they went on so smoothly. I was so excited. I was jumping up and down and telling Seth about it and excited that I didn't need to go buy new jeans because I had outgrown my previous pair. And just recently, what was it, last week?
I think so.
I think this last week, I had this wild idea to try on this dress that I had worn, I think was at least 5 years ago. And I was like, oh, I really want to try this on, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to fit or not. What the heck? I might as well just try it. And so I waited till Seth left. He went to go run some errands just in case it did not work out in my favor. And I tried it on and I was so excited that our little girls came in and were like, Mom, what? What's going on? And so I was just like, I'm just so excited I could fit into this masquerade dress again. And it made them so excited that they wanted to try the dress on too, so they could experience some of that joy. um, I will say also with the gut mind connection, being on mind body has really helped me to go back to being naturally positive. Looking for the good and being happier has been so much easier since taking it. And I will say, even during this time, I have not worked out as much as I have wanted to. So, very little working out. And we've also traveled about 4 weeks accumulatively. Well, I guess 4 weeks in a row, and then another week, another time. So, yeah.
Awesome. I truly believe that MB what we're doing with MB is going to change the world. Like we're changing lives. It's changed our families' lives, and all these little wins, like dancing, Stephanie dancing around our bedroom, twirling in this masquerade ball gown with our girls, with our little girls, and then them wanting to try the dress on too, and right and dance around like the intangibles. MB is amazing. Now we're entering the weight loss season. Actually, in the US, it's always weight loss season. Why? Because 82% of adults are managing their weight. 120 million are actively trying to lose weight. I think by 2030, nearly half of the United States adult population will be considered obese. Okay. So these are the trends. Number one, we have a rise in diabetes. Diabetes, by the way, is the fastest growing disease in the world, globally, right? That is also hand in hand. Thank you, love. Steph's got to be excused. She's got another appointment. Diabetes, it goes hand in hand with obesity. Sometimes we just call it diobesity, right? Because of this, consequently, there's a massive boom in the GLP-1 market. Top 25 drugs by spending in 2023. What's number one? Semaglutide, folks. Semaglutide. I looked at the numbers recently. Last year, 2024, the GLP-1 market, again, we're not talking about natural GLP-1. We're talking about the synthetic market, right? It topped $54 billion. And it's on its way anywhere from to 150, 250. I've seen as high as over $500 billion in the next decade. This is going to be a crazy, crazy world. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to do to start 2025 off. We're calling it Activate. We've talked a lot about activation tonight, and Thrive in 2025, your 12-week mind body GLP transformation. So we've pooled together as a team of entrepreneurs and leaders. We pulled together $30,000 in cash prize money for the top winners. And we're doing weekly giveaways as well, just to have fun and create community. We already want to lose weight. We already want to be healthier. We already want to change these things. So why not make a party out of it? And why not have cash at that party? So we're going to talk about what that looks like. How would you love to get paid and totally transform your health and your physique? So here's how it works. This program is live right now. So the start of the 12-week challenge begins anytime in the calendar month of January. So from January 1st to January 31st, you can complete, and you must complete, your intake or enrollment form for the challenge within that time in order to qualify for the grand prizes, these $30,000. So your start date is anytime between January 1st or today, January 10th, all the way to the 31st of January. Your end date is 12 weeks after you officially start. So 12 weeks after that start date. So you can screenshot this if you want. If you started on January 10th, that's today, then if you filled out the intake form today, then your end date would be April 4th. So you're going to do an intake form, and then we'll have a couple of check-ins along the way, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and then your end date will be April 4th. So again, last day to register for the challenge is January 31st. So first day you can join, January 1st. The last day to order your MB product to be 100% completely safe so that it will be delivered by the end of the month is the 21st of January. Although that is not a disqualifier. If you hear about this, if you have a friend who hears about this on the 30th or the 31st, they can do their intake form that day, order their product. They're just going to be off the product for a few days as they begin the challenge. But bottom line is get your product ordered and get enrolled in the challenge, because that has to be done this month by the 31st. We have a link. You can fill out the challenge intake form, and then we have a support team that will confirm that you're there, and then we'll be communicating with you after that. We also have a Facebook group that you'll be joining where we're sharing before and after pics, where we're sharing the journey, where we're talking about our good days, where we're sharing recipes, where we're doing weekly drawings, and just having a bunch of fun, right? Who can join? Any of our consultants in LifeVantage are welcome to join, of course, and our customers. Like we're doing this for our customers and new customers. We're reaching out to brand new friends and saying, hey, do you want to come get healthy with us and join a $30,000 mind body healthy weight loss challenge to start off the year? And in fact, we had one friend said, I'm looking for something, but I'm looking for something that's 12 weeks. And we said, just so happens that this is a 12-week challenge. Prizes and categories. So we have 3 categories: male category, female category, and a couples category, where we will be basically looking at your stories. This is not simply about weight loss. It is not only where did you start, how much did you lose, and it's over. It's more about your story. It's all of these factors. We want to hear about the weight loss. We want to hear about the inches lost. We want to hear about the cravings lost. We want to hear about the quality of life. We want to hear about the regaining of your wardrobe, like Stephanie talked about. She just, we just save hundreds of dollars because she's not going out and buying jeans and another masquerade dress, right? So these 3 categories will have multiple winners, 5 grand prize winners in all of these, from $500 to $3,000 in the single categories, and in the couples, $750 to $6,000 for the grand prize. Again, you can do this as a couple. This is Greg and Shauna Mucklow. How fun for them to go on this journey together and really experience GLP-1 activation. I already alluded to this, but how are the challengers / winners going to be judged? By total transformation. It's not simply one dimensional. We're looking for total transformation in our health and our life. So it's going to be about your story and all of the factors. And then we have a panel I know that I can speak for this because Stephanie and I are on the panel. Very fun, witty, and fair consultants who are putting this program together to judge those. And we're going to have a blast looking at everything that happens in your lives. The details. You must submit before pictures and details, right? That's on your intake form, and enter your chosen category. And you're going to decide that from the beginning, day one, male category, female category, or couples. And then you're going to start on your 12-week challenge. You're going to take the mind-body system for 12 weeks straight. That's basically 3 months, okay? You must purchase in this time period between December 24th and the end of April, December 23rd, 2024, and the end of April, you must purchase 3 sets per person of the mind-body system. In other words, this is a mind-body challenge. We're going to show the world what happens when people incorporate mind-body into their lives for 12 weeks in the public. And that's why we're doing this. So you have to purchase, obviously, the product and use the product. We're going to invite you to go public on social and say, I just started the Activate and Thrive 2025 Mind-Body GLP-1 Challenge. My goal is to lose X. and I'm looking for 3 friends to do it with me. Like, it's always more fun to do it together. In fact, when we do things together, we actually get more done. We complete things. Not only is it more fun, but because it's more fun and because we have accountability and because we have community, we get higher results, right? So we have shareables that you can share on social platforms as well. What to expect in the next 12 weeks? Well, you're going to ramp up and reset. That's kind of phase one. Then you're going to feel better balanced, and then you're going to be activation optimized. And what I want to prepare you for is a transformation, right? We're talking about activating your body's ability to make its own hormone, GLP-1, and its companion hormones again. So it's not as if we're just going to slam the body and all of a sudden we're going to inject something synthetic and you're going to be running full speed. It's going to be an incremental growth over this period of 12 weeks. So phase one, approximately you first to 1 to 4 weeks. Everybody's going to be kind of on a little different schedule, but basically you're going to notice some differences in your body. And then that's going to change. We're going to go into phase two, which is you're starting to feel you're more balanced, right? And maybe you're starting to feel that mind-body connection. It's like every single day, every single week, incrementally, you're starting to understand how the mind and the body actually communicate and work, and you're starting to see different results. So just preparing you that activation is really like a journey, like a walk, as opposed to an elevator that just delivers you automatically to one place. Okay. By the end of the 12 weeks, you're really starting to optimize activation, and you've given your body 12 weeks time period to balance what's going on in the gut and to have that communication between the gut and the brain and the receptors and the GLP-1 and its companion hormones. And food noise has started to fade away maybe completely, and you're leading to a healthier relationship with food. What we're really talking about, mind body, is helping you change your habits. Okay. So challenge tips: take the products as directed every single day. We have an intake form. We have a getting started form to help you optimize how you're taking these products. I can't emphasize enough that you need to take the system as directed. First thing in the morning, put that MB Core on your nightstand or on your vanity in your bathroom, or it happens to be in our kitchen is central in the house. And so in the kitchen on that center island, it's sitting there all the time, 24/7. So when we walk out of the bedroom, the first thing that we see is our MB Core, and we're making sure we take those 2 pills on an empty stomach with water, right? And then a minimum of 30 minutes before we're consuming any calories. Another challenge tip: detoxify. Take inventory of the toxic things in your life that are inhibiting your best mind, right? So this again comes down to habits. Maybe you're going to actively start to reduce. I know Dr. Jeff, I think it was Oreos and wine, Dr. Jeff, right? And we're down on those. Like, I'm a chocolate guy and I'm still enjoying chocolate. Don't get me wrong, right? I had some Toblerone yesterday, but I'm not eating chocolate like a grizzly bear. Like, I mean, that's how I just eat like big everywhere I go. And I'm just not doing that these days. I'm eating 3/4, I'm eating 3/4 of an entree and I'm feeling great. And I'm having, instead of eating an half of a pie, I'm a pie guy. Okay. Instead of eating half of an apple pie in a sitting, I have a slice or a half a slice, and I'm thinking amazing. I'm thinking, boy, that's amazing. I'm satisfied. So you're going to start to make active decisions to reduce some of those toxic things in our lives. Movement, right? You want to introduce yourself to moving more. Movement is medicine. So this is pretty much an overview of the mind body. And I can't say that enough. What would happen in your life if your mind and your body could be connected naturally by those hormones and those communicators like they hadn't been ever, right? Or at least in decades, because our toxic standard American diet with inflammatory seed oils, with ultra processed, highly processed foods, with fragrances, all of these endocrine disruptors and hormone disruptors in our lives, What if we could get back to the mind and body that we were designed to have? Well, we are doing that. And we have, 50,000 units out, well, a couple 150,000 units, whatever, out now, proving to the world that activation really is something that can change your life. So let's get started with the mind body system. You can become a customer, you can become a consultant. Option one, get started as a customer. Get the mind body system. That's $179 for a month supply as a customer. Option two would to be increase and start stacking benefits. We talked about some of these other products and our activation products. I'm not going to go into all of them tonight. But when you stack different activating systems, like the protection system and then the GLP-1 hormone system or the collagen system in your body, you start stacking and multiplying the effects of the results in your body. So we have friends who are actually on the premium stack, one of our most popular stacks. That is the collagen, the Protandim, and the MB product activators all in one stack at a significant discount, $337 for customers. Our last customer in Hawaii, she said, Seth, I think I need the Healthy Weight Pro stack. I think that's an option stack, knowing what she's looking for. So we have stacks where you can maximize the profits and maximize the benefits in your body. Option two, become a consultant, right? Actually, become part of the solution as we go share this with the world. So if you'd like to become a consultant, you can enroll as a business consultant, an affiliate, and start sharing this story, enrolling other people in the challenge and being paid for that, right? So you would purchase a business pack, anywhere from $349 to $999, depending on what products you want and how much of that you want. And then just as a customer would, we start the activation process. With as few as 7 customers, you could be paying for your product every single month. Where to start? Get in where you fit in, whatever makes sense to you today. And that's really the key, is making commitment to make the change today. So whatever that fits for you, join us. Join as a customer, join as a consultant, and let's go change the world, create an empire of love, hashtag take it to make it. So number one, complete the challenge form, download the GLP-1 product experience guide, which we prepared for you, and plug into your Facebook group. We'll provide that Facebook group link to you so that you can be involved in the community and the discussion and the raffles and more. It's time to ditch the diet culture, the pain, the shame, the revolving door, the hot and cold, the frustration associated with contemporary diet culture. What if it wasn't you? What if it wasn't just that you were lacking in discipline? What if there was a whole hormonal component? Keep in mind, GLP-1 is that hormone that could make that tipping point, that difference in your mind and body and in your body composition. Get in where you fit in, become a customer, get started, become a consultant, and join us on the 12-week Mind Body GLP-1 Activation Challenge. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be rerunning this presentation with another amazing set of presenters and advocates and consultants tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We're doing this every single night, the entire month of January, to put out this message and enroll thousands of people into the challenge. Thank you, everybody for being here tonight. Dr. Jeffrey, thank you for being my eyes in the sky, my one picture on the screen. Help me get a tech check. God bless you. Thank you, everybody. And this call is officially a wrap.